Hi, everybody. In this video, we're going to be looking at numbers 17 through 20 on the Topic 6 review assignment. And again, as a reminder, we do have the test coming up tomorrow. And so you need to make sure you know how to do everything in these on this review assignment. If you know how to do everything on the review, the test should be pretty easy. So I'm glad you're here. Let's look at number 17. Luis paid 6.5% sales tax on a $10 purchase. What is the amount of the sales tax? That's a very good question. If he paid 6.5% sales tax on a $10 purchase, the amount of the sales tax would be 6.5% of $10. So we're really asking, what is 6.5% of 10? Of means times. Is means equals, but that's not really a big deal in this problem. What number here equals 6.5%? Converting that into a decimal is what is really important in this problem. And as a decimal, that would be 0.065. Notice we do see the decimal point here, and then we move it 2 places to the left. One place moves us in front of the 6. The second place, we would fill that with a 0, and we get 0.065. And then times 10. If you want, you can use a calculator to solve this. Although you shouldn't need one, because when you multiply by 10, we are working with the decimal system. We use the decimal system. All you need to do is move the decimal point to the right 1 space. And when you do that, you get 0.65 or 0.65. So what is the amount of the sales tax? Well, that's, if you remember it's money, that's 65 cents, isn't it? That's how you write money, by the way. Get the dollar sign out here. It's 65 cents. So on a $10 purchase, Luis will have to pay another 65 cents in sales tax. So he is going to pay a total of $10.65 for whatever it is that he's purchasing. But yeah, the amount of the sales tax is 65 cents. Number 18. Well, I don't want you to be distracted by number 19. That's still upcoming, so I'll just block that so it's hidden. 40% of what number is 10? Again, the 2 key words we're looking for are the words is and of. So I'm going to circle the word of here. I'll circle the word is here. And I'm going to translate these words into symbols. 40%, I need to change this percent into decimal form. The decimal point is at the end of the number when it isn't shown. If I move that to the left 2 spaces, I'll get 0.40. I don't have to show the 0, though. I can just write 0.4. If you want to show the 0, you can if you wish. But I'm just going to write 4/10. That's the same thing as 40% when we express it as a decimal. Of some number, so times some number. I'll call that missing number n. Okay? So of what number times n is 10. Is means equals, so this equals 10. Notice I'm not multiplying 4/10 by 10. I have to take 4/10 times some number equals 10. So this is a one-step equation again. I have to divide by 4/10 to undo that, which means I'm also dividing this side by 4/10. If you multiply by 4/10 and then divide by 4/10, those will undo each other, and we get n equals 25. 25. And you can check to see, is this answer reasonable? 40% of 25, does that equal 10? Well, 40% of 25 does equal 10. 10 is a little less than half of 25. 40% is a little less than 50%. So it seems reasonable. Yeah, it's correct. Now we'll look at number 19. 48% of what number is 288? Now think about this for a second. 48% of some number is 288. So this number that I'm trying to find must be a little more than double 288. It has to be a little more than double that because we're taking a little less than half of it, and it's going to equal 288. Okay, so let's go ahead and translate these words into symbols. 48%, we need to write that in decimal form. So 0.48, that's 48% as a decimal. Move the decimal point left 2 spaces. Of what number? Remember, of and is are very important words. Of means times some number, I'll just call that number n, is 288. Is means equals. So equals 288. So 48 hundredths times n. I wouldn't have needed to show the time sign here. I could just write 0.48 n equals 288. But again, we're not multiplying 48 hundredths by 288. It's 48 hundredths times some number equals 288. So it's a one-step equation that I need to solve. I will divide by 0.48. That's the inverse operation for multiplying. Okay, so that means I also divide this side by 0.48. So that cancels out, and now the n equals 288 divided by 0.48. And when you divide that, you can use a calculator to do that. I'm betting it's going to be 600. Just a hunch. Let me check that on my calculator. 288 divided by 0.48 equals 600. So our number is 600. Does that answer seem reasonable? Is about half of 600 equal to this? Well, this is close to 300. Is half of 600 equal to 300? Mm-hmm. So that seems like a reasonable answer. 48% of 600 is 288. All right, one more problem, number 20. Desmond paid 8.5% sales tax when he bought a new phone. The sales tax was $12.75. What was the total cost of the phone, including tax? We're looking for the total cost of the phone, including tax. Now, I know the amount of the tax is $12.75, and I know the sales tax rate is 8.5%. So we need to write an equation, and I want you to look back at the previous example here. 48% of some number is 288. 40% of some number is 10. Can I write myself an equation like that here? Well, I could say 8.5% of what number is $12.75. I could write myself a problem like that. 8.5%, that's your sales tax rate. If you find 8.5% of some amount, it has to equal $12.75. So let's find out what that number is. All right, so I changed this into decimal form, 0.085. Again, changing percents into decimals, move the decimal point to the left, 2 spaces. 1 space gets us in front of the 8. A second space we'll have to fill with a 0, and we get 0.085. Of what number? Remember, of means times. Is 1275. Remember, is means equal. So then to solve this, again, we're not multiplying 0.085 by 1275. We're multiplying 0.085 times whatever the total cost was for that cell phone. So I have to divide by 0.085 to undo this multiplying by 0.085. And n will be by itself. But remember, if you do that here, you must also do so here. Divide by 0.085. Ooh, aren't you glad we have calculators? So I'm going to grab my calculator, and 12.75 divided by 0.085. Whenever you divide by a decimal that's between 0 and 1, you will get an answer that's larger than what you're starting with. This equals $150. Okay, so this is the cost. That's the price of the cell phone. Is that the answer to this question? $150? What was the total cost of the phone, including tax? This is the price for the phone. By the way, that's a very inexpensive phone. It's $150. But if we're going to include the tax, we need to add the sales tax of $12.75 to this. So we actually have one additional step here, and we get $162.75. This is the total cost including sales tax, $162.75. So a lot of people will get to this point, but they'll forget, uh-oh, there is one more step here that I need to complete. Okay, that's it, everybody.